Hello BC, long time no listen. Today for the recent vinyl spins, I decided that I'm only going to talk a couple records, and these are recent acquisitions for me, and they are wonderful acquisitions, and it's kind of perfect timing that I got these two, because both these artists were recording in the same period, different genres, and they're very eccentric. They had their own quirks, phobias, but they were also considered geniuses. And the two artists in question are Glenn Gould and Thelonious Monk. And for those of you who don't know Glenn Gould, he's a classical pianist from Canada. And yeah, I said the word classical, so some people might be stopping the video and finding something else to watch. Well, that's fine. But I promise you, it's really kind of interesting, even if you're not into classical, just to get some of the background on the man.
It's good place though, just the same, the guy, you know?
Well, everybody has to have his own. No.
Too late.
It appears you're famous, Thelonious.
That's what that mean?
Yeah, they list all the popes in here and presidents. See what it says.
You're famous, and they put your name
In this book.
I'm famous.
What do you do at Columbia Records?
I'm a pianist. Play the piano.
You're a what?
A pianist, musician.
Oh, I see. What do you play? With the long hair, or do you play jazz, or bebop, or what?
Oh,
do you play?
I'm the long hair variety.
You have long hair Friday.
Yeah.
Oh, but you must have a beautiful audience. They must be falling asleep at you.
I remember, though, on the way back, he was a little pissed off. Count Basie. What did he say? He said, oh, Count Basie kept looking at him, or looking at him while he was playing. He was at the piano, and that somehow bothered him. And he said, oh, next time he plays somewhere, I'm going to look at him.
So I recently acquired this LP, which is probably Glenn Gould's best work, and this is on Columbia, who he almost recorded for exclusively starting in the 50s, and he was really considered a genius based on taking famous classical pieces and then doing his own renditions on piano. So this is the Goldberg Variations, which is done by Johann Sebastian Bach, and at the time these were written, I mean, the piano that he was using wasn't even invented yet, so he put his own stamp on this, and this is very unique, and he then re-recorded it again almost 20 years later, and it's different to hear his 80s rendition compared to this 50s rendition. So this is one of the highly sought after classical pieces, and this is an original Columbia 6i, and unlike the jazz, the pop records, the classical editions were coming out on a gray label instead of a red one. So I found this and I got a good deal on it. Usually you can't find this one too cheaply, at least in good condition, but sometimes you can find them really good, and I just managed to get a really good deal on it. Now the other one, just incredible. I couldn't believe I scored this. So I went to my local record shop again, and there was a professional downsizer, I think you want to call it, and she walked in with a box of jazz, and she said, I got a box full of jazz that I need to sell for this old lady who's 81. And I'm like, okay. And I kind of spoke up, hey, you mind if I look through the box? And so I'm thumbing through, and there's a bunch of Ellington records. And then I came across this one. Thelonious Monk plays Duke Ellington. And this is an original now. It's a repress that came out in '58. When it first was issued, it came out with a different cover. This one here. But for some reason, later in the 50s, and I'm pretty sure this is '58, they came out with this. And just looking through the lady's collection, I think she saw Duke Ellington, because there were a lot of Duke Ellington LPs, and she thought, oh, this is good, but Thelonious is different from Duke completely. But I like his rendition. And this is just a fantastic score. I mean, it's on the Blue Riverside label. And, you know, I could tell she never played this. Just amazing, too, because, I mean, even the jacket, I mean, look at that cover gloss for a record that is, you know, the spine is great. You know, she never played this, so I consider myself fortunate. But, you know, again, going back to looking at Thelonious and Gould, I mean, they were considered geniuses. And so Glenn Gould, he had his quirks too. So, you know, he would play piano and he would hum. And, you know, the engineers at the time, they hated it because, you know, they'd try and do a recording, and he couldn't suppress himself from singing. So even when you listen to the 80's rendition of the Goldberg variations, I mean, you would hear him humming. So, I mean, it can be distracting, but the 55 piece, you know, you don't pick up. Columbia did a really good job at eliminating that to the most part, and you're going to see that in the clip that I have here at the end. But, you know, he also had some other quirks. I mean, you'll see that he always used the same stool. You know, it was made by his father, and he used it all his life, and it is in a glass case in Canada. Some other quirks about Glenn Gould, I mean, he had his phobias. He, you know, would go outside in Florida, and he'd be wearing coat, mittens, very strange personality. He didn't like crowds. He only played about 40 concerts in total. But very eccentric, a genius. There's a wonderful documentary about his life, which I highly recommend, and it's this one here. So if you can find it, it's definitely worth watching. Now, Gould and Thelonious, they were both recording for Columbia at the same time, and in this subsequent clip that I'm going to show you, you can see them in the very same studio. Another irony, they died the same year. Monk, on the other hand, you know, he had some mental problems. I mean, you have a bunch of authors that, you know, try and post-diagnose. I mean, some think he had autism. Other people have said that later in his life, because of some of the drugs that he was given, he had brain damage. But he was very eccentric as well. I mean, his piano playing style, like Gould, you know, he played about 14 inches above the keyboard. Monk did not play either in the classical style. So if you look at classical pianists that, you know, you learn piano, you're taught to hold your fingers in a ball, but no, Monk was like this, and you could see him slamming the keys down, and people were just amazed that he always ended up hitting the right key. And, you know, he would get in this sense of euphoria, and he'd start playing, and he'd get so into the music, he'd stand up, turn around. Dress style, you know, he always was trying to be out in front of everybody fashion-wise. I mean, you'll see in some photos here, I mean, he wore different hats, different styles, different suits. He always wanted to stand out from everybody else. But, you know, when he got towards the latter part of his life, he just, you know, completely shut down, which was really kind of sad. There's a wonderful documentary that was produced by Clint Eastwood on Thelonious Monk called Straight No Chaser. And this, I mean, you can find it on YouTube. I'm going to capture a link below, but, you know, if you can find this guy, definitely check it out. So those are a couple of records I've been spinning this week. I'm hoping to do another video, but I hope you enjoy it.
Always supposed to be on time. I mean, Ben.
Oh, man, let me see the glasses. Oh, you're jiving me. Oh.
All right, man. I like that. I like it.
The glasses.
With the glasses.
Where can I get another pair like this? I want to get a pair.
That's it.
You got anything in them?
No, why try you?
That's funny. I mean, you mean it's invisible. You got invisible glasses
You got
on.
invisible glasses.
It's been stretched or shrunk. So how do you feel this morning? Any various aches and pains?
No specifically localized aches and pains.
There's nothing.
Just general lethargy.
We aren't going to get a good report.
It's a terrible thing to see, but you look well today.
Killjoy.
Gould's habit of humming while playing causes a good deal of trouble to the sound engineers, and it demands great care to get a clean recording without extraneous noises.